Good evening, everyone, and welcome to yet another Tuesday night Zoom session. Who have we got tonight? Izzy, Emily, Cheesley, Emma, Jess, and David. Cool. So we've got a big game this weekend, haven't we?
Yeah, finals.
Yep. Semi-final. What's different?
No draws.
Yeah, there can't be a draw. There will be a result in one shape or other. Do we know how if we end at the end of regulation with the tied score, what happens?
3v3 extra time.
Yep, for 5 minutes. Sudden death. The clock doesn't stop. First goal wins. 3-on-3. What do we know about 3-on-3?
A lot more room.
Yeah, a lot more room. So what becomes really important?
Possession.
Got to have the puck. In 3-on-3, the puck is the number one priority. It doesn't matter where you are on the ice. You want to avoid getting stuck offside for obvious reasons. And you do tend to get more offsides in 3-on-3, but you've got to have the puck. You don't just throw it away because there's so much room. Someone carrying the puck has a significant advantage, especially if they're a half-decent puck carrier. And if it goes to the end of 3-on-3, what happens?
Penalty shots.
Penalty shots. Anyone here done penalty shots before at all? Apart from that one training session when we did them?
Yeah,
What do you know?
they're stressful.
Hey, they're really hard, especially on the goalie. In particular, think about it from the goalie's perspective. The goalie's just done a game, plus 5 minutes for sudden death overtime, and then all the pressure's on them to make saves. What do you think about the goalies in that situation? How are they feeling? You reckon they might be tired? Let's have a look. I've got some video of some finals. This is a weird one we had a couple of years ago when we were the Bad Shepherds, White and Dark. Bad Shepherds was a brewing company that was sponsoring the competition. And we had two games, a semi-final and a grand final, both of which went to overtime and then went to shootouts. So I'm going to show you the shootouts from them, just so you can kind of see. I mean, the likelihood of it happening is pretty low, but we want to be prepared for it if it does. We don't want to be, oh, penalty shootout. What do I do? Rather than, oh, penalty shootout. Cool. I've done that before, or at least thought about it. So let's have a look at the. Let me get the. Pardon me for just a second while I screw my head on. Here somewhere. I think, yeah, here we go. No, that's the 5-on-5. My apologies. That's a 3-on-3, not the No, I grabbed it. Where is it? TC2. Just let me grab the right file. Here we go. It won't show up on the thing because it's the wrong thing. But anyway, we'll get this sorted out in just a second. Apologies for ineptitude. By now I should know what I'm doing, but whatever. We have here is a penalty shootout between the big deals and this is the grand final. And the so you can see how effective the advertising is. The Bad Shepherd's white. We're the guys in the white. All right. So what did you see? Any thoughts on that at all? What do you reckon, Jared? What do you think happened?
Um, um, I don't know. It was pretty good. I don't know. I was got distracted, so I missed a fair bit of it.
The videos are all stuck on the Facebook group, so you can look at them there as well, both the 3-on-3s and the penalty shootout, so you can have a look. Anyone else who was actually paying attention who watched it?
There were quite a few shots that the goalies looked very exhausted for.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, think about why.
They've already been playing an entire game plus the 3-on-3s.
Pretty stressful, isn't it? Very stressful. In fact, if you look at all of the shots that were taken, they probably all should have gone in. There was one where one of the big deals players just left the puck behind. That happens. People make mistakes under pressure. That's what makes sport interesting. Both of our guys that missed had wide open nets. The goalie was committed lying on the ground and they hit the side of the net instead of putting it in. Oops. So what's the big lesson from that?
I think if you're the person taking the shot, you probably want to get the goalie to move.
Make the goalie move if you can. That's a big part of it. What's even more important than that?
Puck in net.
Yeah, put the puck in the net. Make the goalie have to make a save. I mean, that's the same with any shot. Every time you create a scoring opportunity and miss the net, you may as well not have had the scoring opportunity because the goalie hasn't had to do any work. You always want to make the goalie have to make a save, regardless of whether or not they make the save or not. You want to make them have to make a save so that when they make mistakes, because they do, it goes in. If you can make the move, even better. I stuck a video up today of on the Facebook group, and I'll just grab it so that you can have a look because it's a good one as well, of the point that was made about making the goaltender move. And those of you that have done a bit of stick and pucks with me will already have been practicing this move, except using a backhand instead of a forehand. And I'll just pull it up and show it to you because it's very relevant. You don't often get a chance to do it in a game because there's usually too much pressure going on, but you can often do it. Yeah, penalty shootout situation. And that is, did I save it as an MP4? Yes, I did. Excellent. I stuck this on the Facebook group, so you might have already seen it. If not, there's two interesting things about this. The first one is the shot itself is really sneaky, but the preparation for it's the interesting part. So let's have a look.
It's not made a save in a shootout this year as Kucherov cutting in, and he's going. No, he didn't just do that. He didn't just do that. He didn't even try to make a move. He totally faked him out. This is actually a.
So here's the thing: if you put it on the net, sometimes it goes in. Now Kucherov may or may not have meant that. Who knows? But either way, what did he do to make the goalie move? Let's have a look again.
Has not.
So where is he?
He's on the far right side.
Yeah, he's not down the middle, is he? He's skating off to one side. So the goalie has to track that. So the goalie's always trying to think, I've got to stay between the player and the goal. At that point, the goalie's going to be on the left post and watching what he does. And let's see if we can see what the goalie does as he moves in.
Made a save in a shootout this year as Kucherov cut.
See how the goalie has to drift across? What happens when a goalie has to move?
Slow feet, quick end.
And
They leave a gap.
there's a gap between their legs because they have to. They cannot move without opening up a gap. It's the simple biomechanics of what's going on. It's not physically possible to move without opening up the 5-hole. At our level, apart from Jared, who is a wizard, everyone else is going to open up that gap and leave it wide open while they make that move, and probably significantly open. So if you can get the goalie to start moving across, there's two things that are going to happen. They're either going to open up the 5-hole and leave that open, or they're going to fall on the ground in front of you. In which case, all you have to do is, once you pass them, just tap it in. And that's what happened to all of the goals in that shootout that I just showed you. The goalie committed early because the player was coming across or faked a shot or whatever. The goalie commits, falls on the ground, can't get back up again in time. You've got 2 meters of net to put the puck into. You just have to just tap it in. It looks like the easiest goal you've ever scored. And in some ways it is. So the point one, put the puck on the net. Don't miss. Put it on there. Make the goalie have to make a save. Even if it just bounces off their pads, at least make them have to do something in every shot that we take. The second one is if you can get the goalie to move, the 5-hole will open up. You don't get rebounds on penalty shots because there's no rebound opportunity. That's the play's considered dead. Some other stuff that matters on a penalty shot, the puck is only allowed to move forwards. You're not allowed to stop and go backwards. So you just got to be mindful of that too, that you can't sort of go in and then pull a puck back and pull a puck forwards and those sorts of things. You've got to keep the puck moving forwards all the time. Otherwise, if the ref's paying attention, and hopefully there will be. I mean, look, again, the chances of us actually having this happen to us are pretty low, unless you're playing in the women's league. Anyone here playing in the women's league? I think Yvette is.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure who else. Izzy, are you playing women's league?
Not this season, but I did last season.
Okay. So the women's league doesn't have penalties, do they? What do they have instead of penalties?
Penalty shots.
So you get to practice penalty shots. The funny thing is, and you can tease Jane about this next time you see her, she got one and she got a penalty shot, and we even practiced it. She just skated in and basically passed the puck to the goalie, and I was like, "Oh, Janie Lou," because under the pressure of it, because everyone, like, there's one person on the ring, everyone's watching you, and in a final, there's a lot of emotion and all those sorts of things as well. It's quite a pressure situation. Pretty easy to just do dumb stuff because we're human and we do dumb stuff under pressure. So if you do stuff it up, and you will, it's okay. I still talk to those people that miss those wide open goals. One of them ended up being one of my teammates, and he was pretty handy. He was just, stressed and made a mistake because we all do. Anyway, so that's what happens at the end of it. Let's forget about that for now then, and let's go and have a look at what happened during the game, because it was an interesting game, wasn't it? Anyone remember what the final, not so much the score, but the shots on the net ratio was?
Was it like 30 to 6 or 7 or something?
Yeah, it was a lot, wasn't it? Who got all the shots on the net? I've got an interesting stat for you too, Jared. Do you know how many saves you've made this season?
I actually got it open now. I was just having a look. So 271.
271 saves. That's pretty good. In fact, that's 100 more saves than our other goalie. How can I forget?
Yeah, lock. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 100 more saves than Lockie's made in the same number of games. 100 more. But so your thoughts, Jared, on were those shots mostly easy saves, or like for this last game, or were they from bad angles?
I think it's a mixture, but even then, there's the shots from the angle because they were then getting someone in the slot or near the back post. They were setting up for the rebound. So even though it was the first bad shot, they were setting up for the second shot.
Getting those rebounds, and I think both of the goals came from rebounds. No, sorry, Talo. The second goal came.
Yeah.
The first one was a.
No, they were both rebounds, I believe. Yeah.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I just want to have a look at them because it's fascinating to see what happened. Let's have a look at the Tigers' first goal. This is actually an interesting little succession of play here, because some things went wrong to allow it to happen, and we'll have a look and see if we can't work out what it was that went wrong. Went wrong for a Joker and right for a Tiger, that is. So what's the scenario before we even start?
For us, it's a D zone face off.
Tigers are setting up. They've got 1D a long way back, possibly a little bit overly conservative, but it's better than overcommitting. They're certainly not pinching. Let's have a look and see what happens. What's supposed to happen at that point?
Shouldn't one of the wingers be going up
One of them?
straight in? Up both, but right where the puck is right now. There should be a winger right there where the puck is.
Both wingers should be going woof, quick as they can. Right? Are they? Maybe. It gets more interesting. I'm going to go through it frame-ish by frame-ish. The other part to think about is where's the puck?
It's going towards the slot right now.
Where's the danger area?
At that Tiger player standing.
It's gone right into the most productive scoring part of the game. So that's a Tigers win on the face-off by putting the puck there. It doesn't matter who managed to put it there, but if you're a Tiger, that's right where you want the puck. It's Perfect. Right. What needs to happen is for the jokers, that one and that one, and it has to happen quickly. And we know that. We've been through this lots and lots and lots of times. And this tie up here looks pretty good. I'm not sure who it is. It might be Gabby. I'm not certain. Either way, that tie up looks pretty good. That D is picked up that forward and is probably going to take them out of the play. So let's have a look. Oops. Sorry. Sometimes the mouse jumps a little bit. All right. What happened with the D tying up there?
What was the question? Sorry.
So has the D done the right job there?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. That's beautiful. It's right in your face. You're not scoring on my watch, Sunshine. It's just not going to happen. So whoever's defending there for the Jokers has done a great job. That's perfect, right? That's really good. The Wingers, on the other hand, are a little bit lost, aren't they? I think how can I forget? Sorry,
Stephanie.
sorry, Steph, that's doing the right thing. A little bit slow off the mark, but doing the right thing. Kate's lost. I think she's still fairly new to wing, and she's watch what happens now. Just keep an eye on what happens here, because it can happen. It's one of those shit happens things. So what's just happened?
We just collided into each other. Yeah.
Which basically now means we've got 5 on 3, because those two are effectively out of the play. Steph's doing the right thing. Kate ran into. Is that you, Sloots? I'm not sure. Or is it Dad? Is it Das? I can't tell from this angle.
It's me.
Okay, so you guys have run into each other. Probably trying desperately to get out of each other's way, and it's basically because Kate's chosen a bad line, and gotten a little bit confused and hasn't moved as quick as she needed to. That's why that's happened. We can fix that. It's an easy fix. Just as long as we're aware of it and we pay attention to it, then we can fix that one. Like, it's not going to happen again. Let's have a look. What do we see now?
Some loose
There's
players.
Anything in particular that's very dangerous?
the unmarked player in the slot.
Right, loose player on the slot. That's, and again, if I think, Jared, it might have flicked off your pads.
Nah, it went under. I lifted it slightly, just try to move.
and came across, and then the Phineas was there and just tucked it home. Yeah. So there wasn't an awful lot you could have done about that one, Jared. But basically, it came about partially because our wingers because Kate got tangled up with Sloots, which created that opportunity. And it doesn't take long, and it's certainly not every time that happens that won't occur. It's a little bit of luck too, but it does create that little bit of space, which allowed Phineas that room to just basically park himself with no pressure on him and take the shot when the puck fortuitously ended up on his stick, which was a bit of luck, but he had to be there to take advantage of it. Steph's done exactly the right thing. Everyone's done the right thing. It's just a little bit sloppy in its execution. So there's just some little things that we can just tidy up a little bit. They're not big deals. They're just little things, but they can sometimes lead to scoring opportunities. We'll watch it again on the replay and we'll get to see a little bit more. Oh, yeah, sneaky, just under the pad. It's a 5-hole goal, isn't it? So lessons from that one that we can just improve on is a little bit of our execution on the face-off, and so that we don't basically run into each other essentially. Let's have a look at the second goal, because this was quite an interesting one. By this stage, they'd had 15 shots on the net, so it was 15-2, which is quite a significant shot ratio on the part of the Tigers. Jokers are doing a pretty good job of creating breakaways, but the Tigers' defense was getting back and shutting it down. So what's our situation first? It's just open broken play, nothing in particular. It doesn't look like we've come from a face-off or anything. It's just pucks in the neutral zone down here. Was that Yvette throwing a hip check after the goal? Let's have a look at this one. Oh, Yvette, you goon. Boom. So what's wrong here?
I think that in this situation, either the center or the other D should have been quicker going down the middle and taking off that pass.
We've given the middle away, essentially. I'm not sure who 26 is skating back. Yvette's probably doing pretty much the right thing there in that instance because the other player is so far back, it's basically out of the play. And you, at that point, you do want to make that challenge. You hang off and cut off the passing lane for as long as you can. When it gets that close, you've got to make the challenge on that player. And Yvette's done the right thing in that instance and forced a pretty tough shot, right? Which unfortunately for Jared, pops up the juiciest of loveliest rebounds of all time. Can't get back quickly enough. And finishing it off was Declan, who was there and just skating down the middle. And we kind of let him have that space, basically because we weren't hurrying back fast enough to shut it down. And that's again, it's an execution thing. It's just a little thing, a bit of a lucky bounce off a rebound, but that's where the goals often are in that situation. Especially when both teams don't really have anyone that you call a great shooter. So we don't have a Sadie, we don't have a Sadie's the shooter from the basically you give Sadie the puck, give Sadie the puck in that zone in front of the net. It's going to be a goal a lot of the time because Sadie can shoot. These lights have another one, Amy, who's got a pretty good shot on her, and we know about their big D who can fire a cannon. It's a bit random, but he certainly can. So they've got three players who've got pretty good shots on them. By comparison, we haven't really got anyone who's a great shooter. Phineas can put the puck in the net, but no one's really got a big cannon that we fire in and has any sort of real offensive threat. So our goals are going to be rebounds, 5 holes, confused play in front of the net, the occasional breakaway that will get in if the goalie commits early and that sort of stuff. That's where we can score for both teams. So it's also what we need to defend against. So if we take that space away and make sure players are always under pressure, it doesn't cause a problem. I've put a whole heap of most of the defensive zone face-offs up to zone face the D zone face-offs up on the Facebook group, so you can all have a look at them. There's one other little detail problem here I want to show us again, just to have a look at. It didn't result in a goal, which was kind of lucky because it was pretty close. Let's have a look at this one. What's the scenario here? What I want you all to do is pay attention to that frame. What do we see? No one? No one noticed? Watch it again. We're watching the top right frame where the bench is. Watch it. What do you see?
No one's jumping on.
I'm dumping on. Okay. As oh, I'm having a worse day for names.
Raf was going to the bench and Steph wasn't paying attention.
As ref is coming over to the bench, right? At that point, the next player should be on the ice. Right? See them coming over, it's right in front of you, waving his hand around and everything, saying, I'm coming. A little bit slow, but regardless, he certainly got there. And we're all sitting on the bench watching the game as opposed to paying attention to our change. Can we do that better? Why
Sure.
So, Steph, it was you. Why do you think that happened? Because it's not your fault, really. What caused it?
Oh, just lack of communication.
Yeah, Steph, you still around?
She's not here.
Oh, but she was earlier. Oh,
So I'm just speaking on behalf of her. I don't know what actually happened, but I'm just assuming that's the case.
hopefully I didn't scare her off. But yeah, so I think she was here earlier. But I understand this can get a bit boring. It's only one more or two more to go. But yeah, so the question is why did that happen and how can we prevent it from happening again? Because now if you look at the scenario, we've seen that change and we've seen how slow it was. That was a good 10 seconds or more of 4 players on the ice. Let's have a look down on the main frame down here and see what that results in. What do you see?
There are like 4 loose players.
Well, is that
Well, looks like it.
so there's 4 jokers attacking, really only 2, and the Tigers are back in numbers. I was watching it thinking, where are they all? Oh, there she comes. So even in that situation, though, I'm not sure, is that you, Sloots, or is it Das? I'm not 100% sure.
I think it's Eliza.
Themselves here. That's really good positioning too, because there's a wide open net if the puck comes across. Problem is you've got no one in high slot, which also means you've got no back check. Because remember, our triangle, when we set up an attacking triangle, there's a couple of reasons for it, isn't there? Generally have a player here, which we have, and a player here somewhere. What's this player's job? They've got 2 jobs, don't they? What are they?
They're to try and shoot, but also to get back to defense.
They're the first back checker. All right. So if the puck does go wrong, it's usually a centre, but not always. Wingers need to know how to do it too. If you're the high player rather than the one who's in deep, so then your job is not just to be an attacking option, but also you're the first back checker, and you've got to come back down the middle quickly. You can't do it if you're not there. Although in Steph's defence, where she is at the moment, it's actually once she gets on the ice, it won't be so bad because she's already kind of roughly in that position because she's so high anyway. But we're certainly missing out on that opportunity to get a shot away. And to a certain extent, too, it confuses the Tigers because they're thinking, hang on, the numbers don't add up. What's going on here? Now, maybe or maybe not, they had the presence of mind to actually work that out. I don't know because it all happens fairly quickly in real time. But it can create a little bit of confusion as well. Anyway, we want to get those changes sharper. That's certainly something that we can fix. And we can fix that for the weekend. We can get our changes better. We do that by concentrating on the player we're replacing as well as the game, not just watching the game. I know how tempting it is. We want to watch because, it's our game and here we are. But at the same time, we've got to be watching out for our change. The way I think about it is if I'm up next, I want to be on the ice. I don't want to be on the bench. I want to be on the ice. I want to play this game. I only get on the ice when the player I'm replacing comes off. So I'm going to watch them because I want to be on the ice. I want to play. But that's how I get myself to do it. Because otherwise, you watch the game all the time and forget about the change. And then someone comes in for change, you're like, oh, la di da, here I'm sitting on the bench. Oh yeah, go. All right, all good with that one. I think it's probably about all. I don't want to go through a blow by blow of all of the videos. I put them up on the Facebook group, and you all have a look at them and see why I put them there. But I did want to go through those ones because they're kind of key to some things that we can sort out. There was a couple of really good plays that both teams made, some great breakaways. We did some really good stuff through that game, and it was generally an excellent game from the point of view of from us as the coaching group. So if you get a chance to watch game one again on video before you, and I'll put the link up to it in the Facebook group so you can say this is game one this season, and this is the game we played this is the game we played on Saturday, and look at the difference because it is absolute chalk and cheese. The other thing I want to remind you all of before we shut it down for the night is that we will be having a presentation after the game on, is it Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday.
After the presentation after the game on Saturday, we'll be having a presentation. We just hand out some little awards for various different things that you've done throughout the season. So that will take probably half an hour or so. We've got the dance room at the back of the rink, which is the one, with all of the change rooms. There's a dirty great big room just past the change rooms, further down towards the Zamboni, Darabin Creek end of the rink, away from the cafe. Anyway, that's where it is, and we'll have a presentation in there. You don't have to get dressed up or anything like that. It's just fairly casual sort of thing where we just say a few words, give out a few thank yous, and hand out a few little prizes. Some of you have been there before and kind of know the deal. We would also love it if you guys could organise some sort of a squad get together afterwards, which Jane and I, and I'm sure Mia as well, would love to come to, and I'm pretty sure Alex would love as well. We would love to come along to it, but we're not going to organise it. We want you to organise it. So you guys organise that as a group. Whoever wants to take care of that can do it, but please make something like that happen. So we think it's important for maintaining the culture of the group, which is something that we're as a coaching group we're very involved in. We're proud of the culture that we've managed to keep this group holding throughout the years that we've been running it, and this is a big part of it. Is that everyone being part of the hockey family, so to speak. Any questions before we shut it down? Anything else anyone wanted to talk about? No? Cool. All right. If you want to get dressed up for finals, I reckon it's pretty cool. Suits are good, a tie, anything. I just kind of think it's respecting the culture of the game. It makes you feel a little bit special. Finals are a little bit special. We're not going to pretend that they're not. So let's make it something that we can all be really proud of and enjoy the experience. And I will see some of you tomorrow night at hockey school, some of you on Thursday afternoon at the Stick and Puck, and all of you on Saturday for the semi-final.
Thanks, Carl. Have a good night.
All right, good night, everyone.
Bye.
See you at some point soon.